Okay, so we're gonna continue our chat with
Hey,
Tally.
Shepard. You need something?
Okay, so we spoke to her about her race, her Quarians. Let's talk about the Geth.
I want to know more about the Geth.
They made them.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Well, tell me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't AI research illegal?
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal.
So semi-legal.
The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
What is the neural network? Even though I know what it is, let's ask her about it.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So like a hive mind.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
That's simple enough.
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence.
Oh, that's always
Am I
bad.
alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
It's obvious, but why?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
They defended themselves. It was your fault. What do you expect? Well, they defended themselves.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of
Well, it
revolution.
failed.
By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated.
In secret.
The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld.
So they won, basically.
We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
They defended themselves, yeah.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None.
But
Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Sorry, okay, I'm surprised. Not everyone.
They didn't kill Saren.
Saren is
What
mind
does that
controlling them,
tell
probably.
you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All
Well,
organic
yes,
life.
they do want to rise
That's
the
why they've joined
Reapers.
up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they do want to, bring back the Reapers, right? The Reapers are like the ancient machines, basically, that killed the Proteans. Okay, pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift.
People probably don't like it.
It's not the best way to make a
Yeah,
good
good
impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Well, it sounds dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Okay.
I want to talk about something else.
That's interesting.
Like what?
It's a rite of passage.
I should
Makes
go.
sense.
See you later.
Okay, so we've spoken to Tally about everything. We spoke to Engineer Adams. We got a bunch more of our teammates. Yeah, we got Garrus there. Talk to the requisition officer to purchase new equipment. Well, Alliance requisition officer.
Hey,
Hello.
Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
Supplies.
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Pay you?
Why should I pay you for my
Yeah,
weapons
you're
and
part of
armor?
my crew.
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
Tell me about these licenses.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a
Oh, that's the
certain
stuff
brand
I've
of
been buying
products.
at the other shops, right?
I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
Manufacturers?
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
Okay. Tell me about new items.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased, but I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can.
So it refreshes every time.
Check back
Okay.
often. I need to move items
We land.
quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Okay, show me.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
So I've bought a whole bunch. Ooh, Hurricane 5. Shotgun. Well, I don't really care about shotguns. Pistol. Heavy armor. Scorpion 5. It's pretty good. Although it is 23,000. I do have $129,000 credits. So this is worse than mine. Well, in some ways. It does give me tech biotic protection though. Light armor. Avenger 3 is not as good. So he has not that much good stuff. But I can sell him my stuff at least. And there's buyback option for stuff. Anyway, I mean, I'm not gonna sell you anything right now. Not until I get a feel of what my other people are having, you know? So you're out of luck for now.
Looking for supplies?
Can I give you licenses? Yes.
Let's see what you've
You
got.
bet, Commander.
How do I give you the licenses? Or do you just have them? Elanus Risk Control, Aircos, Haydeen, Keter, and then a bunch of Haydeen, Keter stuff. Rapid and efficient Earth-based Haydeen Keter have become major supplier to the Systems Alliance military. Their weapons are considered stock quality at best, though their armor lines are generally recognized as above averages. Like the Scorpion 4. Pretty good. But for now, nothing. We'll talk to Rex the Krogan.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
It's a personal inquiry.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story.
There's always a story. Come on.
Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Come on.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That's unfortunate.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
Well, yes, it's not. They did unleash a bioweapon to kill them all, and well, not kill them, but reduce their fertility rates, make it almost zero. It isn't.
Seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I see your
I
point.
suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Touchy subject.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Investigate. Tell me about your extinction.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
Tell me about the genophage.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
What?
Why don't the Krogan try to find
Well,
a
they
cure?
are trying, right?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Okay, I see.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Oh, Codex. Nice. Non-council races. Oh, they got a lot of stuff. Krogan's genophage. The genophage bioweapon was created to end the Krogan rebellions. From the start, the Krogan had overwhelmed the council. Only timely first contact with the Turians saved the council races. The Turians fought the Krogan to a standstill, but sheer weight of Krogan numbers indicated the war could not be won through conventional means. The Turians collaborated with the Solarians to genetically engineer a counter to the rapid breeding of the Krogan. The genophage virus gained the energy to replicate by eating key genetic sequences. Every cell in every Krogan had to be altered for the weapon to be foolproof. Otherwise, the Krogan could have used gene therapy to fix the affected tissues. Once a genophage strain could find no more genes to eat, it would starve and die, limiting spin-off mutation and contamination. This created genetic flaw is hereditary. The Solarians believed The genophage would be used as a deterrent, a position the Turians viewed as naive. Once the project was complete, the Turians mass-produced and deployed it, obviously. The Krogan homeworld, their colonies, and all occupied worlds were infected. The resulting mutation made only 1 in 1,000 Krogan pregnancies carry to term. It did not reduce fertility, but offspring viability. The rare females able to carry children tend to become prizes the Krogan warlords fought brutal battles over. The Krogan are a shadow of their former glory. While the rebellions took place several centuries ago, they are constantly reminded of the horror of the genophage and of their inability to counter it. The release of the genophage is still controversial, bitterly debated in many circles. It's the Krogan rebellions, yeah. Quarians, their economy, okay. The migrant fleet has little economic base, operating in a state of perpetual hand-to-mouth. While Quarian ships include light manufacturing and assembly plants, they lack heavy industries such as refining and shipbuilding. The fleet has tankers for water purification and oxygen cracking, but the space-intensive nature of agriculture limits food production. A single disaster could destroy the fragile balance. The Quarians earn income in creative ways. Because the government is obliged to provide food, water, air, and medical support for every individual, the Conclave strategically determines the course of the fleet to bring in resources and income. A species who suspects the migrant fleet is heading towards their space often offers a gift of surplus starships, fuel, and resources to convince the Conclave to alter course. Okay, just get rid of them. As the fleet passes through a system, swarms of mining vessels work over asteroids for metals and siliceous materials and cometary bodies for water, ice, and organics. Quarian miners are adept at locating and strip mining space-borne resources. This sparks conflict with corporations already working in the system. Large mining concerns spend millions on lobbyists and public relations, portraying the Quarians as locusts, devouring the resources of a system before moving on. The greatest asset of the Quarians is their rapid skills. Most are experienced miners. Due to their life of perpetual salvage and repair, they are skilled engineers and technicians. More than once, the very corporations that lobby against the Quarians have made backroom deals with the fleet, arranging for skilled Quarians to fill space engineering jobs that other species would demand higher wages for. Quarians are widely hated among the working classes. Great. The Quarians are coming to take our jobs is a common response to the fleet's approach. Great. The government. Due to the Quarians' precarious existence and the need to enforce strict rationing, government is somewhat autocratic. The migrant fleet's operations are dictated by the Academy, directed by the Admiralty, a board of 5 military officers who are advised by a legislative body called the Conclave. Each vessel in the fleet has the right to send representatives to the Conclave aboard the flagship. The number of representatives is based on crew size. Larger clans with bigger ships and more votes form the cores of political blocs. Opposition comes from the Outriders coalition, which delegates from thousands of smaller ships. The Admiralty defers to the Conclave decision in most circumstances. However, if all 5 members agree that a Conclave decision jeopardizes the survival of the fleet and cannot get the Conclave to address their concerns, they have the right to summarily overturn the legislative decision. After the Admiralty uses this extraordinary power, they must resign. If the Admiralty does not step down after using their veto, the rest of the military is obligated to arrest them. Each ship captain has authority over his vessel but is advised by an elected civilian council, just as the Admiralty is advised by the Conclave. This relationship may range from cooperation to polite tolerance to outright hostility, but any captain who overrules his council without good reason is relieved of command by the Admiralty. Many Quarian ships are owned by clans who pool their resources to purchase used vessels from private sellers. Large ships are prestigious for big rich clans, but a small ship means status for a small clan with enough personal wealth to afford a private vessel. Clan vessel captains are not subject to dismissal by the Admiralty. Abusive captains are a family problem if they do not disrupt the operations of the fleet. Well, I mean, the last part is pretty weird, but okay, makes sense. Migrant fleet. The migrant fleet is the largest concentration of starfaring vessels in the galaxy, sprawling across millions of kilometers. It can take days for the entire fleet to pass through a mass relay. When the Quarians fled their homeworld, the fleet was a motley aggregation of freighters, shuttles, industrial vessels, and the odd warship. After 3 centuries, all have been modified to support larger crews as comfortably as possible. As the Quarians achieved stability, they began weeding out the ships least suitable for long-term habitation, selling them and pooling the money to buy larger and more space-worthy hulls. Okay, this process is ongoing as vessels wear out and break down. While some ships enjoy dedicated cabins with full privacy and sanitary facilities, many more are former freighters whose cargo bays and containers are pressurized and divided into family spaces using simple metal cubicle bulkheads. The Quarians enliven these austere spaces with colorful quilts and tapestries, which also help muffle sound. The day-to-day operations of the fleet, traffic control, station keeping, supply distribution, and so on are under military jurisdiction. The ship captains have the authority to deviate from their assigned positions and may leave the fleet at any time. They are assumed to do so at their own risk. As the migrant fleet moves around the galaxy, many ships split off to pursue individual goals, returning days or years later. They can just come and go if they want, really. Okay, it's pretty interesting. Interesting stuff. Oh. Okay, I can change equipment from here. Okay. Let's have a look at Tally's locker. Click the filter tab to switch between item types. Select an item from the list available of models and click the equip button to be the Omnigel button permanently convert selected into Omnigel. Okay, I know what all this is. So yeah, like for example, these guns, both of these are much better. So there you go. And before I do anything more, let's have a look at Caden, Ashley here. So yeah, here you go. Raptor for you as well. And anti-personnel rounds 2. Sure, that's the best I've got right now. Shotguns. This is what I got. This is what I got. 126 is the same. And armor. You can have a shield battery because you have automatically regenerating health anyway. And Tally. So this shotgun is better for you, right? 152 scimitar 3 and 128 whatever. 110, 126 Reaper 3. You can have it. Cause I want my people to be as well equipped as possible, right? Omni 2 and armor, and you also have stimulant pack and this. Okay, shield battery 3. Fine. Okay, so now I can actually head to him and sell everything, basically. But I don't need any of it. Hello.
Looking for supplies?
Yeah, I'm looking to actually sell.
Let's see what
You bet, Commander.
Sell. Here you go. You can have all of this. And then you can sell this or whatever. There you go. Lots of money. Hello, Garrus.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You knew?
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
It's not that bad, I'm sure.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
That was your reason?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that.
Of
It
course.
didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape.
As
CSEC's
it
handling of
happens.
Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
It's a tough decision.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC.
That's always a good thing.
Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
You know, get all the
And without
experiences you
CSEC
can.
headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
That depends.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
Yeah. Oh, I can inspect the Mako? Oh, Codex. Ships and vehicles.
Faster than
Mako.
the Mako infantry fighting
Mako.
vehicle was designed for the System Alliance's frigates. Though the interior is cramped, an M35 is small enough to be carried in the cargo bay and easily deployed on virtually any world. With its turreted 155mm mass accelerator and coaxially mounted machine gun, the Mako can provide a fire team with weapon support as well as mobility. Since Alliance Marines may be required to fight on any world, the Mako is environmentally sealed and equipped with microthrusters for use on low-gravity planetoids. The Mako is powered by a sealed hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell and includes a small Element Zero core. While not large enough to nullify the vehicle's mass, the core can reduce it enough to be safely airdropped. When used in conjunction with thrusters, it also allows the Mako to extricate itself from difficult terrain.
That's why we can like fly around, right?
Faster. The Normandy.
Yeah. Okay. Can talk to him more.
Commander, how are you?
Tell me about you and CSEC.
Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
Yeah.
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Such as.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people. I
That's
guess
a
my
good
father
thing.
had something to do with it too. He was CSEC, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
I can understand that.
That's tough. But you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Saren.
My father's a CSEC man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Saren.
Well,
He
he's a
actually
father,
taught me
so
out
you
of
know.
becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
A Spectre.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate, me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
I see.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can, but Saren's not going to play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
Not true.
Just because you can break the rules doesn't mean you should. I don't need to stoop to Saren's level to stop him. And neither do you, Garrus.
I see what you mean, but I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Commander.
Oh, more codex. Council races. Solarians. Oh, we already know. We already read this, right? League of One. Yeah. Turians' culture. While Turians are individuals with personal desires, their instinct is to equate the self with the group and set aside personal desires for the good of all. Turians are taught to have a strong sense of personal accountability, the Turian honor that other races find so remarkable. Turians are taught to own every decision they make, good or ill. The worst sin they can make in the eyes of their people is to lie about their own actions. Turians who murder will try to get away with it, but if directly questioned, most will confess the crime. Well, that's pretty dumb, I guess, but you know, in one way it's pretty noble, I suppose. Turians have a strong inclination toward public service and self-sacrifice, so they tend to be poor entrepreneurs. To compensate, they accepted the mercantile Volus as a client race, offering protection in exchange for their fiscal expertise. The Turian military is the center of the society. It is not just an armed force, it is an all-encompassing public works organization. The military police are also the civic police. The fire brigades serve the civilian population as well as military facilities. The Corps of Engineers builds and maintains spaceports, schools, water purification plants, and power stations. The Merchant Marine ensures that all worlds get needed resources. Okay, so it's all military stuff. Military doctrine. Although they lack the brutality of the Krogan, the skill of the Asari, and the virtuosity of humans, the Turian military has formidable discipline. Officers and NCOs are lifers with years of field experience. Enlisted personnel are thoroughly trained and stay calm under fire. Turian units don't break. Even if their entire line collapses, they fall back in order, setting ambushes as they go. A popular saying holds, you will only see a Turian's back once he's dead. Boot camp begins on the 15th birthday. Is it everyone does it? Soldiers receive a year of training before being assigned to a field unit. Officers train for even longer. Most serve under the age of 30, at which point they become part of the reserves. Even if they suffer injuries preventing frontline service, most do support work behind the lines. Biotics are uncommon. While admired for their exacting skills, biotics motives are not always fully trusted by the common soldier. The Turians prefer to assign their biotics to a specialist team called cabals. Command and control is decentralized and flexible. Individual squads can call for artillery and air support. They make extensive use of combat drones for light duties and practice combined arms. Infantry operates with armor supported by overhead gunships. Strategically, they are methodical and patient and dislike risky operations. Tradition is important. Each legion has a full-time staff of historians who chronicle its battle honors in detail. The oldest have records dating back to the Turian Iron Age. If a legion, okay, Iron Age, wow. If a legion is destroyed in battle, it is reconstituted rather than replaced. The Turians recruit auxiliary units from conquered or absorbed minor races. Auxiliaries are generally light infantry or armored cavalry units that screen and support the main Turian formations. At the conclusion of their service in the auxiliaries, recruits are granted Turian citizenship. Okay. The Unification War was, but they were fighting. Yeah, okay. The different Turian races were fighting before they were put into the council. What more do you have to say?
Commander, good to see you.
Nothing. Alright, well, that's good. That's good, I guess, in some ways. And now we have Ashley.
Commander, you have a minute to talk?
Of course.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
Because they're not alliance?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least as far as Saren goes.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy.
I mean, that is
I think
kind
we
of
should
true.
give them free rein to poke around the vital systems.
That is
Engines,
true.
sensors, weapons.
You're out of line. You don't trust aliens?
You don't trust the Alliance's allies?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies. We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Well, we need allies. No one can just, survive by themselves. But I do kind of agree. But, didn't we build the ship anyway with the help of the Turians of the Council?
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
How cynical.
You've got a pessimistic view of the universe, Williams.
A pessimist is what an optimist calls a realist. Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
Why do you feel that?
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded.
Yeah.
My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
That's good. What about your service?
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, sir. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
Just one rotation stuck groundside. You deserve better.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
Military family.
I never knew my family. Grew up an orphan on Earth. Anybody in your family I'd have heard of?
Couldn't say, Commander. So why are you out here? Just trying to get away from Earth?
To see space.
No. The future of humanity is out here.
He's much smarter
There's so
response
much we
by
haven't
him
seen yet.
than what I thought.
Yeah. I still remember my first field exercise on Titan. When we hit mud, the reality hit me. I'm the first person who ever stood here. Then my drill instructor kicked me in the ass. I went face first into the muck. He spent the next 5 minutes chewing me out for gold breaking.
Gold breaking. What the hell is gold breaking?
Don't tell me you had Gunny Ellison. He's the only one I know who uses that word to describe shirking duty.
Oh, it's a special term.
Oh, Lord. You went to the Makapog boot camp, too? Yeah. Gunny Ellison's still reaming out recruits down there. Kicking ass and using words like inveigle and pusillanimous.
Pusillanimous. I understand your feelings.
All right. I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're going to have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
What about me? Oh. Well, that might be out of line. That's I think that counts as harassment. No, I'm just gonna say thanks.
I don't think kissing Turians will be necessary.
You never know, Commander.
How are we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
You mean the Rachni, right? Like I said, the Rachni are dangerous. They proved that 2,000 years ago. I think it was a mistake to let them go. But that wasn't my call to make. It was yours.
Yeah.
You know, when we pick up that Asari scientist, we'll have to tell her we killed her mom. That's gonna suck.
That is.
Just saying, Commander.
Is it
What's
same
your
thing?
opinion on the
You
last?
mean just saying, Commander.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Okay. Equip Ash. Oh.
Commander?
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Was that all our allies? So Ashley, Caden is upstairs, right? Garrus, Rex, and Tal. Yeah, we spoke to everyone. Okay. Alright. So this is the elevator we came down in. Alright. So, I mean, this entire episode was just talking to my allies. But that's important too, you know. A commander must know their ship. Can I leave now? Excuse me? Oh, there you go. You know, this elevator is very slow. At closing and opening at least. What will you do in terms of an emergency situation? And you gotta just go. Not think too much. Oh, we didn't speak to Joker, I think. Let's speak to Joker. And then we'll come back here. Oh, wait a minute. Heat load monitor. Where did I see that?
Yes, Commander?
Nothing.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
Where was that heat load monitor or something that I saw? Heat load monitor. Oh, it's over there. Okay. Alright, Codex. It was in ships and vehicles. Space combat, combat endurance. Okay, this is the last one we're gonna read. Heat limits the length and intensity of ship-to-ship combat. Starships generate enormous heat when they fire high-energy weapons, perform maneuvering burns, and run on-board combat electronics. In combat, warships produce heat more quickly than they can disperse it. As heat builds within a vessel, the crewed spaces become increasingly uncomfortable. Before the heat reaches lethal levels, the ship must win or retreat by entering FTL. After an FTL run, the ship halts, shuts down non-essential systems, and activates the heat radiation gear. Combat endurance varies by ship design and by the battle's location. Battles in the deep cold of interstellar space can go on for some time. Engagements close to a star are brief. Since habitable worlds are usually close to a star, battles over them are frantic. It makes sense. Oh, another heat load monitor? Another codex. Really? Starship's heat management. Oh my lord. You know what? Starship's heat management? We'll read that next time, I think. I got a time management, dude. Gunnery station. Look outside. Okay, again.
Faster than light drives use
Space combat. Okay, you know what? We'll again read that next time.
Boy, am I
Joker.
glad to be off of Novaria. I don't know which was worse, the cold or the corporations. One will freeze your balls off, the other will sell them out from under you. With all due respect, Commander.
Ship status.
How's the
report?
Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your...
I have to go.
All right, see
Okay,
ya.
well, we'll read the other two and then we'll finally start, you know, going off and doing more missions. So, see you next time.